You're probably wondering what that B-roll is about, right? Well, as you can see, I cut down a tree. The tree was in my parents' yard. Now, some of you that know my family and know who I am and been in my home and whatnot, that tree is significant for a lot of family members. They tend to be able to find our house based on that tree because it was really, really big. It was a pine tree, as you can see in the B-roll. But it was getting out of hand. It was too tall to hire someone to crawl up there and thin it out. Pine trees don't have a deep root. They have a very shallow root, so we were worried about every time it rained and a hard wind came, that it would push it over and it would land on the house. So we just decided we'll just cut it down and figure out what else to do with that spot. So we put it out for bulk pickup and they'll take it, and we cut it down, and it was pretty cheap, pretty easy. I didn't get any footage of it because I was tired already that day from working all day, and then we came here and did that tree. So that's why there's no footage of it. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something very, very important. Specifically, the videos that I said not too long ago in another video that I was going to be putting one up every week. Well, there's been a change to that, an amendment, if you will, and there's a good reason. So if you spare me a little bit of time, I'll explain that. So, okay, let's talk. People that know me personally know that I studied for many, many years to be a professional photographer. Sorry, I'm walking if I'm a little jiggly, or the camera is. And for 4 years, that's what I studied to do, photography. I spent countless hours, 4 years of countless hours, studying how to be a photographer, so that I could, you know, do it as a job, because this is what I love to do since I was a kid. But I grew up in a community of people around me who told me that that wasn't a real man's job. A real man's job is, you know, labor work of some sort, maybe electrical work or being a trucker or doc, you know, any kind of labor, hard labor. That the sweat of a man's brow is what a man does. And women are cooks, and the women, you know, women are chefs, and the women are photographers, but men are not. You know, we go out and we get those hard jobs that women really don't like to do because it's a little tough for them. The problem with that theory is this: I believe that women can do anything that a man can do, and I believe that anything a man can do, a woman can do, if they set their mind to it. Now, is it true that some people are not cut out for specific jobs? Yeah, that is definitely true. But in the community that I grew up, I was told these things. I was led to believe this, and, well, later on in my older years, I come to realize that that's not the case. That's such nonsense. There are professional chefs out there that make, you know, $100 grand a year cooking for 5-star restaurants. There are photographers, like, just to name a few, Joe Busink, Tamara Lackey, Anna Leibowitz, Chase Jarvis. All these people you can Google, and they'll come up like this. Their name comes right up as soon as you put them in Google. And these are award-winning photographers, people who I actually studied, sponged off of, and learned my craft, which is photography. Then I took into account, I'm listening to these people, and I grew up in a neighborhood. It was more of a ghetto neighborhood at the time when I was young, but my family was very poor. My dad, he was sick, he had cancer, and he was dying of cancer, and he finally passed away. And so I had all these other people sharing their beliefs, and I was young and impressionable, and I believed it. So I did all these jobs, and I would be there for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and then I'd start to hate it. And you know, I did everything from law enforcement to trucking to roofing to landscaping to everything that and now, you know, I work with my cousin who owns his business, and he's a arborist, and I clean up and I help him clean up, and it's just he and I. But you know, he understood that this is what I was aiming for, and this was a job working with him that I could, if I had to take the time off, or a client wanted me to photograph or something, or do photo work for him, I could do that. Now, I'm not whining, I'm not complaining, I'm not like, oh, well, I started late in life and I can't do it. You know what? We're human. And if we put our minds to it, we can do anything we want to do. And it doesn't matter when in life you want to do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. So I decided to go ahead and go for it and study and practice and learn how to do it. 4 years of it, I studied hard, really, really hard. And I put that aside. I had put photography aside because I was spending so much time throughout the week trying to gather some kind of footage, so you would have I would have something to put up on Sundays, like I said I was going to when it came to videos. And as I just stated, I put photography up on the side and I just put it on hold. And then I started doing other things too. For instance, I started taking people's personal home videos. They're personal home videos, not movies you buy, but they're actual home videos that they recorded on camcorders from, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, maybe in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and the early 90s. And they weren't digital, they were, well, for you young people who don't know, VHS. They were, you know, it was a regular tape. See if we can open the side. So a regular little tape, and you record your family's event, you know, you're on vacation or a wedding or whatever. And what I did was, I would charge people to bring me their tapes, and I would digitalize them and give it to them on a flash driver, so that it was no longer, they didn't have to have it on here, because these get worn by the weather and you have to keep them in a dry place at a specific temperature. It's a real pain in the behind, and these get destroyed. So I would put them in digital format for them and charge them, and they would have their video on, you know, a flash driver or a disc, whichever they wanted. But that takes up a lot of time. And like I said, photography is my first love, and always has been and always will be. And because of all these things that I was doing to make what I call side hustle money, it just wasn't working. The photography was starting to suffer for it, and I wasn't improving photography wise. I was just at a stalemate. It wasn't getting any better. And I can't offer my clients professional work if I don't improve every single day in the field that I'm trying to be successful in. I am going back to my first love, and where I believe my God put me and led me to do. So I'm still going to do videos. They're just not going to be every week. It's going to be every time I get some kind of good footage, like the B-roll you saw earlier. That was pretty good. So that's pretty much it. Alright guys, and for more videos to come, subscribe, like. So thank you for hearing what I had to say. Thank you for being patient with me. And this is where I leave you guys with this B-roll. And God bless. Be kind to one another. Say hi to people. Don't matter who they are. Just say hi. It's good for the soul. Bye.
Bye.